Hey, what's up, YouTube? Back at it again. Finally, back with some Kevin Samuels. Should women focus on themselves? Fallacy. You know, we've been hearing about this. I'm gonna do me. We see this all the time. It's just me, I. I'm gonna focus on me. I'm my own best friend. All of this other nonsense. It doesn't really make sense. Let's get into it.
Hello.
Hey,
How are
hey, I'm
you?
here. I'm
How old are you?
good. I'm good. 27.
27. Okay. So what do you think about
Don't. When you start asking hard life questions, like,
okay,
Oh
first off,
gosh.
McCormick, you're gonna have to turn off the YouTube in the background. You're in the stream. So, what do you think? What do you have for me on the topic? What are we talking about? The focus fallacy.
I've kind of gotten like inside of that, inside the black culture too, where they tell you you gotta wait. I got out of a 5 year relationship, probably about 2, 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, and everybody was telling me you need to focus on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
go to school, and just wait on dating. Don't come back.
By far one of the most toxic things parents, specifically moms, could tell to their daughters. We see it so much in the black community, and it's just destroying us. Where family comes last, doing the whole 304 thing, going to school, racking up debt, doing all of this other stuff. That's always the main priority. Then when 35, 40 comes around, now they're scrambling, trying to get themselves together. But at that point, no one trying to deal with them. So, yeah, this is an issue.
So now I've been stuck because I've been single now
How
for
long have
two
you been
years,
single?
and well, not from the 5 year relationship. I've been talking to guys, but it's been about 3 years since I've actually been in a real relationship.
You have any children?
No,
So who was telling you that you needed to wait?
my mom, my
Uh,
friends, my
What
aunt.
is that?
it's always the mom. You should wait, girl. You should go to school. Don't worry about it, man. And that's the thing, right? That's the issue. In the black community, they put family last. Other races and cultures of women, they go to school to look for men. Black women, they go to school to prove that they don't need men. They go to school to prove that they don't need us. And they wonder why we shy away.
What is your mother's husband? What did it say?
She doesn't have one, but
Okay, then don't
she
why you
kept telling
listen? Then
me
why you listening to her? She know the fuck she doing.
she definitely doesn't.
Well,
Definitely
I'm
doesn't.
trying to say this because so many. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna go ahead. Ladies, let me tell you, your mothers sabotage a lot of you. Your mothers love you, but they don't. They love you. They won't say it, but they don't want to see you do better than them.
Yeah.
Because if they do, they will be moving differently.
And this has been proven. This has actually been proven. He actually spoke to a few other women about this before, and these women admitted that their mom, no shit, their mom sabotaged their lives. They sabotaged their younger years, and now these women are scrambling to try to get their lives together, but they're so just emotionally damaged, they don't know what to do. And we're seeing this, and this is so common in the black community.
They will be telling you, daughter, don't make the mistake I did. Get a man, do something, learn how to cooperate with a man. So, um, what are you doing with yourself?
Well, now I'm in school. So when I got out of that relationship, that I wasn't doing nothing. So he basically took care of me. So now, when I got out of that, I'm in my last year. This is my last semester of school. So
What are you going to school for?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. What's the likelihood that she's going to school for something in humanities as opposed to STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics? What's the probability, right? The statistical rate of women like her going to school for something in humanities? You know, these types of degrees that are kind of like not really worth anything. All right, here we go. You got your bets in? All right, here we go.
Sociology.
Sociology. Holy shit. Holy shit. Sociology.
Oh Lord, another useless degree.
And
What are you gonna do?
honestly, I
What are you
just
gonna do with a
realized that
degree in
it's useless.
sociology?
I didn't realize that I wanted to do human resources.
And to be clear, I never even seen this video before, but this is crazy. It's just all so common. It's all so common and it's so screwed up. It is.
Until like now, but that's pretty much. I really got into to sociology because I just
Because
wanted
it's
to learn
easy.
more about like it. Not really not because it's easy, but because I like the research and I really want to know
Okay,
about
but when
sexual
you
trauma.
guys, okay, I want to know when you sat down with the college counselor and you were picking degrees, did you pick a degree based upon the careers that it could produce?
No.
No.
I just
The answer is no. The answer is no. The answer is no.
Yeah,
Where
right.
else? Where else can people go sign up for tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt and not know what it's for?
Right.
And that's crazy. That's crazy, y'all. We need to do better. Come on now.
That's what I'm trying to get to understand. If you're in the humanities, ladies, let me say this to the audience. If you're a woman with a humanities degree, sociology, psychology, communications, business administration, business management, marketing, anything like that, you fucking need a husband. Science, technology, engineering, math, law, medicine, pharmacy, accounting. Those are the kind of degrees that you might not need a husband. Mostly everything else, unless I missed them, if it ain't in the College of Engineering, the College of Mathematics, if it ain't over on that side of the campus with science, technology, engineering, and math, you need a husband. Unless you're going to the law school.
And that's what I don't understand. I've seen people go to school, get a master's in human resources, to then go and get a job in human resources only to be making $55,000 to $65,000. No shade, but you would imagine that if you're going to be spending that much time in school, you would want to get something that pays a little bit more, upwards of about 80 plus, but that low, especially in states where the cost of living is so high. You're seeing folks going into these fields, and it's just not really. I don't understand how they're going to really pay for this debt that they. It's sad.
And at 27, sociology. I ain't had a relationship in 3 years. Cool. What's next?
I don't have a next. Now
Okay, at least you're honest.
Now
How tall are you?
Because
Oh,
I'm
this should be
5'5",
good.
well 5'6", yeah, 5'6".
5'6"? Dress size?
Yeah. I wear 12 in dresses, so I weigh about 180 pounds. I think last time I weighed myself, I was 187 pounds. So I definitely need to lose. Definitely. But I used to be 260 pounds when I was in that relationship. So I definitely have, I guess, gotten a little better.
Okay. All right. Let me come back to that. You know everything I'm gonna say. What would I say right now?
In these 3 years, why haven't I been focusing way more on
Well,
my
do you
weight?
ever want to get married?
Definitely. Definitely.
Do you want children?
Yeah, I want like 6 kids.
Oh,
Crazy, huh?
Jeez. I mean, if that's really the case, if she really wants 6 kids, that's a lot. She's definitely going to need a husband. She can't do the baby mama thing. She's going to need a husband. There's a lot of mouths to feed. And not only that, she's kind of on the clock. She needs to get busy and quick. And she needs to find a guy and convince him to marry her because remember, men always control access to relationships and marriage. After all, it's the man who kneels and proposes marriage.
I want a big family. I've always imagined a big family, but I'm late. I'm definitely late.
And I have a feeling that her mom did her wrong. Her mom did not raise her to be a wife. And we see this. This is really common. Her mom didn't raise her to be a wife. Her mom raised her to be a strong, independent queen that don't need no man. She could do all bad by herself and all that other poisonous rhetoric that's been instilled in women of the black community. Of course, not all, but most, and it's sad.
No. See, y'all don't sound like y'all take life seriously. A woman who said she was 260 pounds, now you're down to 190. You're getting a sociology degree at 27, and you talking about you want 6 kids? You sound like kids who are going. You sound like kids who are making.
Sounds very chaotic.
After Christmas list. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. I want. But it's not serious because everybody has a sexual marketplace value. It's a credit rating. It's an amount of money.
Sexual marketplace value, SMV, folks. Pay attention. This is important.
You get to spend on the marketplace. It's what you can afford. Men have it. Women have it. Can you afford a man that can afford 6 children? Is your sexual marketplace value high enough to afford a man who can provide for a wife and 6 children?
Yo, this woman right here is bugging out right here. I don't know what the heck she's doing. I don't know what she's doing, but whatever.
Well, no, but granted, I will work. Like, I'm not one of those women that's be like, I'll put in 10%. Like, I definitely want to contribute to my household. Not only
what percentage of the family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime?
For a lifetime, I mean, I'll say at least 40 to. Not to say I want to go half on him, but I definitely take up at least 40 to 50% because
40.
Last I checked, 50% is half.
So meaning, if you stop bringing in income for any reason, the family is in serious financial jeopardy.
You're right.
Is that what you're saying?
And there's no way this woman wants to contribute 40 to 50%. There's just no way.
I have to be responsible for a lifetime. Think about that question basically says, what do you want to have to contribute? Meaning, if it's not there, what's at risk? So now, under those framings, what do you want to have to be responsible for financially for the family for a lifetime?
I'll take that back. Give me.
And that's the thing, right? Chaotic minds, they have no clue. And it's just like everything is being operated by feelings and emotions and magical manifestation and all of this other stuff. It's not really in a logical standpoint. See, men can't operate like this, otherwise we die. That's why they need us, but they always scream and shout that they don't need us. But then when they get to their 40s and their 50s and all of that, they become more upset, more jaded, more difficult to deal with. I mean, what can you do after that?
I guess the normal answer, 10 to 15 to 20%.
What state do you live in?
Women, we do
what
have
state do you live in? What state do you live in?
I live in Georgia, Atlanta.
How much would a man need to make to afford a wife, 6 children in Atlanta?
I'm thinking probably at least, I mean, 6 kids living comfortably, probably middle class life, at least 400 to 500 G's. Maybe on the low end, maybe 350, but you're gonna need a lot of money. Yeah, that's a lot of kids. You gotta pay attention to what they need: medical, school, money for college, university. It's a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of games and equipment and uniforms to buy and vehicles and all of this other stuff. Big house, utilities, a bunch of other miscellaneous things. That all comes at a cost.
I'm gonna assume at least 800K or to above. But the thing is, I really can't explain it. Like I'm not looking at the dollar amount, I guess, because I watch my.
Of course you're not, because you ain't got to fucking spend it.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that saying? His money's our money. My money's my money.
You're right.
Ma'am,
You're right.
no cap. Do you, there's no nice way to ask this question. There's no nice way. At 800,000, what kind of professions would a man need to have to make $800,000 a year?
Very, very few professions pay that much. I mean, you would have to be a very, very good, seasoned attorney specializing in something very tight, niche, and exclusive and difficult. Probably a surgeon, specifically some sort of brain surgeon. I mean, you're talking big time stuff, and I'm just spitballing. But I mean, a position that pays that much. I mean, you gotta have some years behind it and a lot of money in education and internships, apprenticeships, all of that stuff.
I'm gonna assume at least a lawyer, accountant. He has to be an engineer. Probably that. Shoot, at this point, an entertainer. He would have, like now that I think about it, for 800.
She's just, oh, I don't, an entertainer. It's all a joke. It's all a joke.
100K because they're not even making that a year. So,
So
yeah.
I want to go back to what I said 5 minutes ago. You're not serious. You're laughing. I mean, I'm asking you serious life questions. You're like an attorney, a lawyer, an accountant. What accountants do you know that are almost millionaires?
Well, I was thinking more like a business, like somebody, into really high business. I mean, my cousin's into business, and I know that he's bringing in at least half of $1 million. So I'm.
Her cousin. So I guess that eclipses the mass. Okay, so her cousin that no one knows, he's making all of this money. She thinks $500,000. She has no clue. It's obvious she doesn't know, but she's just making something up because the need to be right runs deep with a lot of these modern day women. The need to be right. It's fascinating.
How old is your cousin?
Well, now I think he's 42 or 40.
And what does your cousin do for a living?
Well, he works for Primerica, so yeah.
Uh-oh.
And they just
Shouldn't have said that. Kevin works for Primerica. He knows about it. He worked for him.
Have you seen his paychecks?
500.
They don't make that
Well,
much money.
I know because they have levels in Primerica.
You've
so
seen his
once you
paychecks?
get, like,
You've seen his paychecks?
no, but they
You've seen his
celebrate when they
paychecks?
hit
No, ma'am. I
certain
know
numbers.
Primerica very well. I have a lot of respect for Primerica. You've seen his paychecks.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
No, I haven't.
what professions, careers would a man need to do? You said an attorney. What percentage of attorneys? What kind of attorney do you think would make $800,000 a year? What kind of
defense.
practice? Huh? What kind of
I would
practice?
Definitely not.
I would definitely say defense. Definitely.
Just making
Defense.
stuff up. No.
Defense. Defense is just.
Or no. I'll say what is the one when they do wills, like probate or something like that? What's the one when they do like the wills, like when the
A probate attorney?
like when the big guys like pass over,
Okay.
those people.
Okay. Tax, probate.
Something like that. Something like that.
Okay. And why I'm asking these questions is because I need you ladies out here to understand that women like I'm talking to and like so many, you guys have just been able to go to, you've been given a menu and said, order whatever you want. And you don't think about the cost. You don't think about anything. So this means a lot of you don't think about family planning or financial structures or anything else. So when I start asking you questions about the man, it's like, you can't even tell me what kind of law. Most attorneys don't make nowhere close to 800,000.
Definitely not. An attorney, a good attorney, they'll be making about 150 to 200,000, and that's a pretty damn decent salary in a lot of states, even in states like New York.
Personal injury, corporate tax, but very few. Family, very, very few. And what percentage of men make $800,000 or more, do you think?
Well, I would take that. I'm not even going to say that they need to make. I feel like 800,000 kind of like.
Ma'am, that we're not going to change the number. We got the number. You just can't change it because it's starting to get uncomfortable. You said 6 kids in Atlanta, and you ain't going to be living in East Point.
Right.
So don't change it. And the thing is, what percentage of men do you think earn that kind of money?
I say at least in Atlanta, I'm definitely under 10%, under 5%, under 5%.
What percentage?
I say 5. I say 5%.
You're out of your
If the
mind.
number is 800K.
No, man.
Well less than 1% of men, probably a fraction of a percent of men make $800,000, and that's all men. That's married, single, old, young, various races, gay, straight. You're talking about such a small, like a fraction of a percent, not even 1%, a fraction of a percent. You're talking $750,000, more than $750,000. That's so rare. And then he has to fit your physical requirements and all of this other stuff, your age range. He has to want in the ballpark of what you want. And to be honest, I just don't really think that you're in line to really be on a man like that program, because a man like that make $750,000, he's going to want a lot for who he is and the resources that he brings. I don't know if he's going to really be looking for someone like you that's, with the eyelashes popping and the weave and all of this other stuff. Men of that kind and caliber, they're very strict with the type of woman that they want, and it's typically not women like you. And that's just the truth, because these men, you're competing with other women who are around these men, and these other women that are around these men, they're gonna fight tooth and nail to try to get these guys, because they know how rare they are, and they know the type of resources. Because remember, women outnumber men by millions, but you're wanting not only that, but you're wanting a man that's so rare, so rare. It's like you don't think you're going to be competing with a bunch of other women. You see the woman above you there? That woman above you, see, she looks a hell of a lot better than you do, and she looks younger. See, women like this and not only women like this, but women of other races too. So you're not just competing with other younger black women, but you're competing with white, Hispanic, Asian, Middle Eastern. You're competing with all of these other women here in America who are wanting these top tier, high end, high socioeconomic class men. So, you got to kind of think about it from that perspective, because the route you're going, you're just magically manifesting, and you think that, this guy is just going to fall from the heavens and he's going to be anything and everything you could ever ask for. That's far from realistic. See, like I said before, men can't operate like this, otherwise we die. Men cannot operate. It's so dangerous. See, men cannot magically manifest things into reality. Women are given the privilege and the comfort to do this because there's no recourse. But men, we have real world shit to deal with. We have to dive out here into the harsh and unsettled elements of the world of society, dealing in the workplace, dealing in high intensity, high impactful jobs, right? Men are controlling the infrastructure and managing it and, doing all of these other hard, high end jobs that women just don't really go into. That's why he was talking about STEM, So men of that caliber, you're going to be competing. And these men are going to want something for who they are. But let's get back into it.
You're talking 10% of men earn $100,000 or more. You're talking about top 5%. You're talking about in the 0.1%. So, see, when I ran that number about single black millionaires, you're talking less than 200,000 men nationwide. Around 200,000 men. And here's where it gets really hard, where it gets extremely hard. You don't have to know the profession. How old are you? 27? What's the oldest you would want your man to be?
No older than 40. No older than 40.
So you want almost a millionaire man at 40 years old.
Well,
ma'am, it is what it is. I'm not.
And my issue with this too, right, is women like this. They're telling average guys, "You're not good enough. You're not good enough for me," even though I'm below average to average. I want an above average man because I think I deserve it. And it's like, well, you and every woman here in Western society feel like that, and all of the other below average to average women, y'all think that you qualify for an above average man. But then the critics would say, well, why not reach for the stars? But it's like you're leaving normal, decent men in the dust. And these guys, they're going to end up being with someone, and you're going to really feel that because you could have had a decent guy. But more often than none, a lot of you women end up friend zoning these men. And it's unfortunate, but you end up friend zoning these guys, and you miss out on opportunities. And then it comes to a point that these guys wouldn't even want to deal with you. So it's pretty screwed up.
I'm not judging it. I'm just saying this is how irrational.
Well, I was really answering the question about $800K for 6 kids. Honestly,
well, that's what you said you wanted.
But I wouldn't, of course, be looking for a guy to make it.
It's so funny how she's trying so hard to backtrack because she knows that what she said, it just didn't make any sense. And a man that makes $250,000 or $750,000, that's so rare. So rare.
100K. Like that's not kind of
stuff. Yeah, but you want to make it, but you don't want to pay more than 10% of the family financial load, and you do want children.
Right.
Do you want to marry an average man earning $41,000 a year? $20.50 an hour?
No, that's no.
And look at her reaction to that. That's a normal average guy making $42,500 a year. And she turned her nose up like that, like she's too good for that. Oh no. Oh no. Look at this chick. See, that's messed up, man. That is so messed up. And it's so interesting because women in other cultures, I mean, I visited so many other countries, and women of other cultures, they don't treat their men like this. They have so much respect for their men, and most of these women of these other cultures, they were raised to be wives. And they're happy and content with what they are. They don't shoot for random and unrealistic things. They don't think that they're extra special. They don't think that they're the exception to the rule. And if you ask any of these modern women to articulate how you're better than the woman sitting to the right and to the left of you, they can't. They can never articulate it. You know, one of the most interesting things is a woman that says, I know my worth. Ask her to articulate it for you. She will get so upset. Just be like, can you articulate what your worth is? She would get so upset.
Definitely not.
Ma'am, you're 5'7", 187 pounds, down from 260. What would you rank yourself? Fresh face out of the shower, you can't use 7. Your natural face, your natural hair.
And that's another thing too. Discipline. Just discipline. She weighs damn near as much as I weigh. And I'm way taller than she is.
This is definitely my natural face. I give myself at least a 7, 8. 8.
I said you can't use 7.
Okay, 8. Definitely an 8.
Wow.
So you put yourself up there with Beyonce.
Yeah, I do.
Just with so much confidence too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
Well, we don't. You are 5. You're average. You're a solid 5.
And ladies, remember, this is so important. At the end of all of the madness, it's not up to you to make that determination. It's up to the men. We're the market. We're on the receiving end. Okay? Imagine the type of world we would live in if you could just say what your worth is and say what your status is and say that you're a 10 out of 10 and you would just immediately get the results of a woman that's a 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? There would be no competition. But let's just face it, the vast majority of you all are not getting offers from Cosmopolitan, Ebony Vogue, all of this other stuff to model in their magazines and on their websites, okay? None of that is happening for the vast majority of you. But you all act like that you are, that this is a thing, that your inbox is just being flooded with all of these offers for modeling gigs, okay? Just stop it. Stop it.
I guess it's all up to, the person.
No, it's not. See, the difference is most people have opinions. I'm trained in this stuff.
Right.
You can think highly of yourself, ma'am, but have you seriously dated a man earning $200,000 or more legally?
No.
Have you dated a man
no.
making $150,000 or more legally?
Now remember, the woman above looks a hell of a lot better than she does and looks like she's way more in shape and much younger. If I had to pick between the two, even without hearing what they're saying, just looking at these two, now pay attention. This woman has synthetic eyelashes, synthetic hair, a face packed full of makeup, a chest side shoulder tattoo, and she looks like she's kind of on the heavy side. This woman above her, not really any makeup, maybe some lip gloss, right? This hair looks natural, and she looks more elegant. Beautiful. This, no. And it's been proven time and time again that when women do this, that's not for men. That's to appease other women. One woman said something to me once before. She said a compliment from another woman hits differently. And I'll never forget that. And if you're listening, you know I'm talking about you.
My ex, he made, but like I said, it didn't work. It didn't work, so.
Okay. So why do you think you can get 4 or 5 times more several years later? See, the ultimate question I was going to ask is, do you think...
Yeah, I seen that sip of wine she had to take. So in other words, she's like, I'm a 1997 Toyota with 380,000 miles on it, right? But when I'm ready, I want the value of a 2023 Lamborghini, or as A. Tate would say, a fully spec Bugatti, right? These are the prices that she wants. Come on now.
Think you or a woman like you is a worthy prize wife for a man that's in the top 1%. He's got to do a lot to be in that income bracket.
Right.
So, do you fit that?
No, no, not no, no,
Okay.
no.
So, so at least you got that now. But the question is, you give yourself an 8, right up there with Beyonce. I mean, if we put your face and Beyonce's face next to one another, you're saying 50% of the men would say, I want her. 50% of the men would say they want Beyonce. That's what you're saying to the audience. That's when you say you put yourself up there with her, man.
Honestly, I really wouldn't care what somebody would rank my face, or I
But
wouldn't.
see,
You're supposed to care. That's the thing. You're supposed to care. Who are you trying to appeal and appease? Remember, remember what I said earlier. All of this, that's not for men. That's for other women. Because men don't like all of this stuff. Men likes natural beauty. See this woman up here? So beautiful. This woman here,
see, that can't be the
Or next to
answer.
Beyonce.
That can't be the answer. That's the part of the problem. You ladies don't care, but you freaking gotta care. Because you ladies judge men all the time. But when
I've
we start
never.
stop. Why wouldn't you care what men want? If you want one of these men to pay for you and the kids.
uh-oh. No comment.
I'm trying to make it make sense. Because you're gonna tell me I wouldn't care what they think. So should a man roll up to you? I don't care what you think about me making $41,000 a year. Shit, submit to me and go make my babies. And what I'm trying to show you guys, I'm not trying to humiliate anybody. What I'm trying to show you guys is the difference in what women have been told, that they can have it all,
Yeah.
and you don't have to care about a man and what I want. City girls, we up and da da da. Get the bag, and that's what this leads to.
And it leads to women like this being grossly unmarriageable. And let's just face it, unfortunately, she's just not on the right side of statistics. I mean, it's so sad because I want to see women like this married. I do. But she's going to have to do a complete overhaul of her personality. It would mean, going to a therapist, not a crazed womanist feminist therapist, but a legit therapist that could at least coach her and help her get to a point where she can get a husband. Even if she could only have 1 or 2 children, or if she has that opportunity to, that's light years better than the road that she's paving for herself. Because the road that she's paving, it surmounts to a woman that's just going to be chronically single, and that's not going to see no family. And I don't want to see that. I want to see women like this in relationships. She may not get the guy that all of the other women want, because it's obvious she can't compete with with all of the other women. But hopefully she could find an average, normal guy, and she could respect him like she would of a man that's higher in a socioeconomic class. But, unfortunately, it's unlikely. But
To young women valuing themselves extremely high based upon little more than ego and personal pride. And you start trying to put some things to it that are for a market, and then it looks like I'm tearing people down. But yet you do the same thing to men.
Men are not allowed to have standards. Men are not allowed to tell what our standards are. Men are not allowed to share what our standards. Men are not allowed to say we don't want something, because once we say we don't want something, here comes the shaming, here comes the guilt tripping and the guilt trapping, here comes the insults. Oh, you can't handle me. Well, why do I need to handle you? I don't want to have to come home to then have to handle you. I want peace and simplicity in my life. I don't want a woman that I have to handle. I don't want a disruptive, argumentative, confrontational woman. I want a peaceful, sweet, elegant woman, right? This is what men have been telling you all for the longest that we want. This is what we want. But you ignore it. You give us the opposite of what we want. And then you get upset when we look elsewhere for wives. So that's why this whole push for the passport bros thing is gaining a lot of momentum, because a lot of black men in America, they're over it. They're going overseas.
I do have a question though. Why would you not be okay with an average man, an average earning? What do you do for? You say you want to get a degree in sociology, right?
Yeah, you might as well just drop out. You'd be better off just getting a normal job somewhere where utilizing your time looking for a man and putting that resource into trying to get him to marry you, because that degree in sociology, that's not going to bring you true happiness. It's just not. It's just going to cause you to go deep in debt. You're not going to make a lot of money.
You get a degree
Yes.
in social. Okay, so you'll be in HR or something like that, right?
Not yes. I'm actually an intern now with my job for.
Okay, HR professional. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I
You
said
said
you'll
HR.
be an HR professional.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't nod your head. You just got to answer.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You got to be
yeah,
audible.
HR.
We got to show. You can't. Okay, so that means you're going to be earning between $40,000 and $60,000 a year. That's the average, around $50,000. Why can't you get with a man who's average earning too?
Honestly, that's what I was.
What does that say on her shoulder? Yvette? Why was that a good idea? I don't understand. Why was this a good idea? Look. Why was that a good idea? Like, seriously, please. We don't like big chest and shoulder tattoos. Women, we don't like that. Okay? It's we don't want to take you to a company function and you got big chest and arm tattoos and shoulder tattoos. That's tacky. It's not elegant. Come on now, get it together.
Honestly, that's why I was saying 800K was kind of high, because I feel like even with me
I feel like
making, let's say, about 50 to 60K, and then he's making another, even if he was making like 80K.
Oh, sounds like she's in the world of magical manifestation.
90K,
No, not
whatever.
80, not 80, not 80. 80 is in the top 15%. I said 41 average.
She still can't wrap her head around that, even though she's going to be making between $40,000 to $60,000 a year. She can't wrap her head around the fact that the probability of her finding a man that makes as much or more than what she makes, it's pretty slim picking. Because again, even men that make over $60,000, she's competing with other women for these men, even though they're not nearly as rare as six-figure earning men. But she's competing with these other women, and I don't think she realizes it. Again, Your competition isn't far away, ma'am. All you got to do is look up. Look up.
Um, I don't know. I don't. I guess it depends on the person.
No, it
Like, of
doesn't.
course,
Because see, what you're doing right now is you're sitting there trying not to offend men, but ultimately saying you will be settling for a man earning average money.
I kind of don't want to be making more than my husband, though. Of course not. I don't want to be. I don't want to make it
Well,
unemasculating. Or
hold on. You're not guaranteed to make more. HR people earn 40 to 60 where you are. And
And that's if you're lucky. HR people do not earn that much money. I mean, that's just how it is.
if I can pull up the numbers in Atlanta, it's going to be around 42.
well,
And here's the problem.
when
And
I
here's the
have to
problem
be,
with that.
you
If
can.
you
It's
don't want to
HR
make it more,
professional.
no, don't overtalk me. If you don't want to make more, then you should have got married early.
Yeah.
This is what women often do. I don't want to be making more than my husband, yet you guys wait too long to where you're earning too much. You ain't earning nothing yet. But I
Right.
want to know from all my average men out there why you are why they aren't good enough.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Why is she looking over normal average guys? They're all over the place.
No, I never said they were. I never said they wasn't good
Okay,
enough.
then
I
why they
just
don't why they're not why guys like that wouldn't be fit? Whatever it is, man. When I asked you, could you would you be willing to marry a man making 41,000? You definitively said no 3 times. So when we come back in here and talk about what they got to do and split hairs, you didn't make those concessions back then. This conversation is helping people, whether it's comfortable or not. It really is.
right.
Because I want you to understand that your non-black counterparts don't do this.
Yeah, huge point. They just don't. You know, for the most part, they don't treat their men like black women treat black men. I mean, that's just, it's so bad. And it's only getting worse.
White women get with average white men. Hispanic women get with average Hispanic men. Middle Eastern, Asian, other, they get with average men, especially average. We got women in our community who, you know, you were a large woman at one point, and even losing weight, you're still bigger than a man. You know that. Okay.
Again, I'm way taller than this woman is. And she weighs about nearly close to what I weigh. That's crazy.
You got no children. You would give yourself, from a pride standpoint, an 8. Cool. I give you closer to a 5. All right. No, either way, you're not. Anyway, I don't want to split that hair. I don't want to go down that path because it go too. But either way, it puts you around the average to above average category. There are men who would say you're below average based upon your weight. I'm gonna be honest.
I would, I mean, you know, we just got to call a spade a spade. She's definitely below average. Definitely below average. No discipline. Synthetic hair. Synthetic eyelashes. A face packed full of makeup. All of the, I mean, it's just, come on now. She's definitely below an average. I would give her a 4, an adjustable 4. That's what I would give her.
Men would say you're below average based upon your weight, and then the tattoos and all the other kind of stuff. But I'm not making those judgments. My thing is, you seem to want men who are outside of what a lot of men would perceive as a sexual marketplace value. And then when I ask you about that, the answer I recall you saying is you don't care what they think.
Well, I
Then
was saying I don't care what they think as far as my looks. Like if somebody was to be like, "Oh, I feel like she's a 5," or "I feel like she's like," that does not bother me because I'm not sleeping with.
But it should bother you. It should, because you're competing with other women for the type of man you say you want. You have to be extremely disciplined to get these type of men, just to even get their attention. And these men are just not looking for women like you. They may have fun with you, but they're not looking for women like you. They're just not.
Those people that think about that about me, or I don't even care what they think about me because I'm never gonna see those people. So I don't
Okay,
care
well,
that.
okay, but so my retort to that is
And that's the thing, right? She's dismissing all of these other men that's all around her, these average, normal guys that work normal jobs, that are doing well for themselves. She's telling all of them, you're not good enough for me. I'm going for an above average man. I don't know why black women in our culture do that. I just don't. And that's why the marital rate is plummeting. And that's why a lot of them are not getting married. I just, I mean, you don't have to go. You could go to the census.gov, National Institute of Health, NIH.gov. They have this information there. There's been so much extensively, exhaustingly research studies and peer-reviewed things that's been published about this, and it's like it goes over a lot of people's head, and it's just like at some point you have to pay attention to this stuff.
there are men in the marketplace. What men do you care about then?
She don't care about men. She just don't. She's more concerned with how other women perceive her, other women that share her ethnic image. Okay, she's not trying to break the cis code. The cis code is strong. She was raised to believe that under no circumstances are you to break the cis code.
The man you would want, right?
Yeah, the man I want one, not somebody that's just gonna troll me on the internet. Like,
Ma'am, it's not about a man trolling you on the internet. And the men that you would want have higher standards than the men you find that you think are trolling you. That's the point.
Way higher standards. Much, much, much higher standards. They don't tolerate all of this. They don't tolerate 99% of everything here. They don't tolerate none of this. They're just, a lot of them wouldn't even give you the time of day.
The men that I'm talking about are just a cross section of men, average men. But you want an above average or an elite level man. And those men want even more. So if you don't care what the guys who are trolling you ain't worth your time, are you what the men you want? Are you what they want from a woman?
A lot of hard things to think about, a lot of hard decisions you need to make, and you need to make it quick.
I definitely have work to do. Let me say, like,
All right.
I still have
Then
more
if
work
you've
to do.
got work to do, that's always the question. If you got work to do, if there are women that are already there and it's crowded up there, and this is
It's crowded up there. Remember, there's a lot more women in the U.S. than there are men. Women outnumber men by millions in this country. And she doesn't have to go too far. There's competition all around.
what men. Why are you so thick? Why do you have to get one of those? Why can't you get a man that's already on the level you're at right now? Because if you're saying you got it, you not. So what you are saying is, I'm not up there yet. That's what I think we're both hearing you say. Am I right?
Uh,
You said I got work to do, which means I'm not there yet.
right. I still feel like
Hold
I
on,
definitely
hold
want to lose
on.
more weight.
If you're not there yet, that means I still got work to do. Yes or no?
Correct.
Right. But where you are right now, would you accept the man where you are right now? And where you are right now is much better than where you were when you were 260 pounds.
Absolutely. And if anything, you can get a normal average guy and try to build something with him. It's better than the alternative. It's better than not having no one. Because you're waiting for that epic superhero of a man that all of these other women want, and it's just statistically it's just impossible. He's not going to marry you. He's not going to give you what you think you deserve. You'll be better off finding a man that's in your range and building something up with him, like every other culture and race of women in the world. But for some odd reason, our women, they're not good enough for other average men. They're average, they're below average, but they're not good enough for other below the average men. I just don't get it.
I would like. I don't have a problem with somebody. It's just that I find it like dudes that make I guess I'm not even gonna say 40 dudes that making it like, let's say the warehouse jobs that normally these dudes work now. Like if they're making like $30,000, they don't have. For me, I feel like they don't have enough ambition.
I feel like they don't have enough ambition. I feel like Miss Sociology degree lady, a guy that's working in a warehouse making 35,000 a year, he's busting his ass in that warehouse. You know? And the state you're in, I mean, let's just face it, there's not a lot of high paying jobs in that state that you're in. I think you said you're in Atlanta. I mean, that's a pretty normal job, a warehouse job. You have a guy working full time making 35 grand a year. That's decent. And this is a man that you can build up with. And especially if he's around your age, even if he's a little bit older, you could still build something with him. But to have nothing, to dismiss normal, hardworking men is just terrible. It's terrible. And it's just the anecdote for self-destruction, I guess.
Like they don't want to get up and go out, do things like they can. It seems like they're all about just talking and not actually doing things. It seems like the only guys, well, in my experience that I've come across, that are open to, living life are older guys that's making more money. And it seems like when I get with guys that are making less, I'm doing more than them, i.e. helping them get a car, like their car breakdown, or I'm helping.
And see, fellas, this is what the issue is, right? Women, they don't want to help you with anything. They complain. There's no accountability. They don't want to help you build, but you better believe that they'll be at the finish line waiting for you with pom-poms. They don't want to help you. They just want to utilize your resources. They want to bleed you dry of your resources. No shade, but that further proves that you need to be the best possible version of yourself. Get out there, work. Don't simp for these women. Okay? If they're not going to be on your program, it's non-negotiable. If they want you to operate on their idea of what a relationship should look like, leave. There's no negotiating with these types of women because they'll bring you misery. Okay?
Man, you went all the way down to a guy who's you went to a guy who's making 30,000. That's not a guy who's making average money. You just tried to you
Well,
equated. Hold on. I'll let you speak. You equated a guy who's making average money to a guy who's making $15 an hour and lacks ambition, and that's disrespectful to average men. I won't let you do that. I'll let you speak because I want you to get your no. I'll let you speak because I want you to get your thought out, but I do want you women to start making different distinctions because you talk about men like we're all the same in their levels. And what has come through is the men that you want are above your level. And the men that are on your level, you don't necessarily want. And you say because they lack ambition. Well, ma'am, the men who have ambition have wives that look like that. That's the hardcore reality. Being in HR is not ambitious. It's a job. And this is part of that city girl, get the bag, we up, such and so forth. You got average women talking like y'all are boss bitches. And you're average, talking about ambition. At 27, you haven't been rude, you haven't been nasty, but the mindset is still the same. So we're gonna put a pause, a comma right here. We're gonna fast forward. Okay, this was tough. Let's just get all the way to the end. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it doesn't work out. You never really find the guy who's on your level or that you're quite a fit with. It just wasn't in the cards, and you don't have any kids, but you've lived a professional life or whatever. At age 55, if you're single and childless, what does life look like? If you're unmarried and no children, what does life look like for you socially?
55, no kids, not married. I definitely be
55, no kids, not married. You don't have any money. You don't have none of that. Because, when you have a man, you have that resource. You have that extra income. You have all of that. You have stability. You have foundation. You have provision. I could go on and on. And it's just like, being 55 with nothing. It's really hard.
depressed. I'll be honest with you. I'll definitely be depressed, probably more
Okay.
than likely.
Okay. If you don't get married, are you going to have enough money to pay for your retirement and live comfortably from age 65 to 85?
Definitely, because I'm definitely planning for retirement now. So
How much?
I'm
How much?
definitely
How much would you need to
They have no clue. You're going to need a lot of money.
retire to live from 65 to 85?
based off my math, I've done. I think I put in. I think it was like right at about 300 something K. It was right about 320 or something.
It's not enough. You need way more than that. You need several times that to live comfortably from retirement age to death being single. So
You think $300,000 will last you 20 years of elder care?
Well, based off my job, and like let's say
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I'm hoping that I have.
No. I asked you a straightforward question. You're saying $300,000 to last 20 years.
Yeah, because I'm expecting
Okay,
for my house to be paid off.
listen. $300,000 for 20 years. Ma'am, that ain't even $20,000 a year. That's like $16,000 a year. That's poverty wages. Let me give you the real number.
Okay.
1.9 million. If you were 25 and making $50,000 today, 0 children, not married, and you got a cost of living rate increase for the next 40 years, and you stack $200 away every month for the next 40 years, you would still have a $750,000 shortfall in your retirement. And what I'm showing is that women, without men, you underestimate or overestimate the notion that you think in your elder years, because I guess you're going to say, I'm going to have my house paid off, my car. It is extremely expensive to age in this country. But we keep pumping this city girl youth culture to our women to where you guys are miscalculating your geriatric years and you're mismanaging your prime years.
And to piggyback off that, they think that OnlyFans is going to be around forever. They think Instagram is going to be around forever. They think TikTok is going to be around forever. They think they'll still be able to coerce men to cash app them, and they'll be bringing in a whole bunch of money like Bad Barbie or something like that. They all think that they're going to be the next Bad Barbie, bringing in $50-70 million on OnlyFans. They're all the exception. A lot of magical manifestation.
Which is why when I asked at 55, you said I'd be depressed. ma'am, based upon this conversation, that is much more likely. Much more likely based upon this conversation. So I would say go back and listen to this dispassionately. Run the number. If you have somebody who worked at Primerica, I got a lot of respect for Primerica. The numbers, I know Primerica. I was in Primerica. I get it. But man, 1 point, and you're HR, 1.9. You can't think $300,000 is enough. So what am I telling the audience? What did I say earlier? Unless you are a woman earning a lot of money, a husband is not a luxury. You need a man.
You need a man. You need a man. Can't say you don't need us. You need us.
And that's what hasn't been told to our community. It's not a want, it's not a desire. And the way you've described a man, I asked you specifically, what do you want? And what you've given me is what you want. And that's how you pick men. You don't pick men based upon need. Not once have I heard you talk about the needs. I haven't asked about the needs, but I gave you room to speak about them. We haven't talked about the man's character, his ability to lead, what he is. I focused on what I know women actually do and give women an opportunity to talk about the stuff that's really important. So it's not that like as though you couldn't answer those things. So go back and listen to this, man, because like I said, our non-black counterparts, women, then you get upset. Then y'all get upset when the guy get with a white woman.
Let's do better. Till the next time, peace.